Welcome to the Woman of Power channel. This channel is designed to inspire, encourage, and uplift you. It gives me a great pleasure tonight in welcoming one of my good friends, Angela. She's a woman of power, a woman of strength. She has so much power inside of her. Welcome, Angie.
Thank you, Charmaine. It's so nice to see you. Thank you for having me.
Tonight, Angie, we're going to talk about you being a single mom. Just walk us through that journey of you being a single mom.
Okay, well, I guess I could start off with I was pregnant with my son in my early 20s. Well, my later 20s. I was 27. I had already graduated from college and I was in my career.
Okay.
My son's father and I had met after I graduated from college, and I guess we were together probably about maybe a year into our relationship, and we were serious, and we thought that we were going to get married.
Okay.
But unfortunately, that did not happen, and sometimes that happens in relationships.
Yeah.
So I found myself alone and pregnant.
Okay.
And like any other young mother, you're at a crossroads in your life where you want to know, what am I going to do? I'm just starting off in my career, and that wasn't how I wanted my life to be. I did not set out to be a single mother. I thought I would be married in that order. But it just so happens that I was by myself. So I started to just contemplate, what am I going to do? And, I had friends and family asking me, what are you going to do? And then I started thinking, what am I going to do? But I prayed to God and I asked, what should I do? Am I going to be alone? How am I going to take care of my baby? And
Right.
I was working full time, but it was a scary situation for me. It was expensive. Children,
To say the
are,
least.
yeah, children are not, expensive, but just, I was thinking so far ahead, like down the road, who's going to watch the baby when I'm at work?
Right.
You know, well, what about my hours at work? And you know me when I was pregnant with my son,
Yeah.
so I worked all the way up until my pregnancy because I did not have I wasn't in a situation where I could not work. So I think I went into pre-labor when I was at the job that we worked at together.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
And then I guess like a little after that is when I actually went out, and the next thing I know, I found myself having a baby. Um, Go
So,
ahead.
Angie, walk me into you having the baby. What happened to you after the baby was here?
So, of course, I think I suffered a little bit of postpartum depression. I
Okay.
think I say that because um, right after I had my son, I was a little apprehensive about having this baby. It was all new to me.
Okay.
So I had to get used to, and the nurses would come to me in the hospital and say, you need to bond with your baby. And I used to say, well, I have time to bond. You take the baby and let me rest. So, but then I think I got over it really quickly because
Mm-hmm.
once they brought him to me, it was like an instant connection. Then I didn't want him out of my sight.
Okay.
So that happened to me all in the midst of being in the hospital. I actually stayed in the hospital the entire week. So I didn't go right home. I stayed for about a week. I had a C-section.
Okay.
So all of that was just traumatic for me. Um, and then once I left the hospital, at the time I was in between where I was living, and I was at my mom's house. I remember this. So I went there and I felt like, okay, at least I'm in a place where um, my mother will be there. I'll have some type of support. So that made me feel a little bit more at ease. Um,
Okay.
but my son's father and I, we actually split during the course of after I came home with the baby. So we weren't really together.
Okay.
And that was a little difficult to handle because as a young woman, you feel like, you know, especially during the time when I was going to the Lamaze classes, and
Yeah.
um, I think he might have been there with me one time,
Mm-hmm.
um, and the rest of the time, you know, I was there. Like I remember having one of my girlfriends go with me, so it was a little bit difficult just to see the other families together, like the husbands with the wives. That was a little difficult. Or for me, psychologically, seeing a family walk down the street and they're all together, so that played on my psyche.
You're right.
Um, but again, Charmaine, I took a step back. I prayed to God. I just asked God to, you know, help me. What do you want me to do? Please, you know, guide me. Let me be a good mother. Give me the strength to do this, because I couldn't do it by myself.
Right.
So luckily, I had a good family support. Uh,
Okay, that's great.
Yeah, I had a strong family. I mean, everybody surrounded me. My friends, my family, everybody just came through for me. People was giving me baby clothes and things like that.
Very
Um,
nice.
and and you know, the funny thing is, so my son's father, you know, even though we weren't together, he was still involved. But just not to the point where I felt like he should have been. But
Okay.
he would come and see the baby, and but it was difficult. It was really difficult, and there was times when we had, you know, arguments about, well, you know, right now I'm not working because you know you take a leave of absence, a maternity leave,
Right.
um, and the baby has to eat. You know, the baby needs his milk. You know, so I didn't breastfeed that long because I couldn't get on. He could never latch on, so
Okay.
that
Hmm.
was so difficult for me. And I think when my son was about a month old, we took a trip to Georgia with my mother because my family lived in Georgia.
Okay.
My cousin. So we went down there, and I remember having a pump, trying to pump, and I said, I'm done with this. but but the milk was so expensive. Like the formula, that stuff was expensive. So I just remember that, like trying to, you know, struggling, trying to figure out, oh gosh, like how am I going to do this? You know, yeah, you just don't plan for that. You don't plan, you know, because my pregnancy was unplanned.
Right.
Um, so that wasn't a plan. It wasn't, you know, like I had, okay, well, I have money set aside because now I'm going to be a single mother, and
Right.
I'm, oh
Right.
no, that wasn't the plan.
So I
So
know it was very difficult up to the your son born, and then what happened in his teenage years? How was that for you?
so being a single mother and raising a teenage son,
Mm-hmm.
I have to tell you, um, first of all, I love my son to death. Um, well, I always say I love my son to life. So, but a woman can't be a man,
Right.
and um, a woman, you know, you can be a mother to your son, but you can't be a man to your son.
Right.
So, and I never wanted to be the kind of mother um, that would keep my son away from his father, because he still needed to be with his father. Only his
Yeah.
father taught him manly things. I can't teach him how to be a man. I can be a strong woman, but I still can't teach him how to be a man. So as he was growing up, you know, my son, he always had a relationship with his dad, but you know, it wasn't like his dad picked him up and they went to football or whatever. You know,
Okay.
I kind of got him involved in things to keep him, you know, off the street. And not that he was a bad kid or
Right.
he ever ventured out in the street. I just didn't want him to be, even go down that route. To the point where I carefully thought about the schools that he went to. Um, I carefully thought about the programs. I even became a mentor in a mentoring program that he was involved in, uh,
Okay.
because I wanted to keep, you know, a close watch,
Right.
and I wanted to volunteer for
Yes.
other kids.
Mm-hmm.
So, um, and then um, he got involved in football, because sometimes my son would be angry about some things, and I thought that was a good way for him to get his aggression out. So
Okay.
he got involved in football, and then, you know, he did wonderful in that.
Okay.
So, but you know, there were times, you know, I had to talk my son down, and you know, if we bicker or get into something, you know, take a walk.
Right. Right.
But um, but you know, all in all, my son is not, he's not a bad kid. He's never really given me any problems at all. I can't even say that he has. He's never, and he's always been a good student in school, good grades. Uh
Okay. Thank God.
yeah. So yeah,
So
and
June is high school days. Now he's graduating from high school. How was that for you?
um high school was kind of the same. Just, you know, just his schools have always been small schools. They weren't large schools. So, you know, being in school and getting involved in stuff, he was always active and
Okay.
always involved in things in school. And in high school is actually when he really started to get really involved in football.
Okay.
So he played for one school, but he went to another because the school that he went to didn't have a football team.
Okay.
And he did really well. He became captain of his football team.
Okay.
So yeah, he did. He really did well in school. And you know, as a single mom, like you feel like you have to be there for everything. So I will always be like football mom.
Okay. Always at his football match.
Yeah, I was there cheering them on. If they went, you know, out of town, I was the driver. I drive. Um, just wanting to be involved in his life as, you know, as I could.
Yes.
Even when, you know, when he got girlfriends, you know, I'm looking. Let me see. but but he always been just a respectable person,
So
always.
how was it for you after he graduated high school and had to go away to college?
Oh, well, that wasn't easy for me.
Okay.
Um he went away to West Virginia to school, and I don't know, I felt a void. I
Yeah.
felt a void because he was leaving,
Yeah.
and it was just me and him all the time.
Right.
So I felt this void, and because he was a football player in college, like, you know, his time was taken.
Right.
Um, so, you know, I would catch him when I can. I got us iPhone so we could see each other. But why did I do that, Charmaine? Because he hardly called me. But he's like, Mom, I'm
His
busy.
time was occupied.
Yeah, his time was occupied. So I said, you know what? I need to get a life
Right, right, right.
because he is doing his thing. And so he went off to school. Of course, then he got a girlfriend in school. So you could forget me. I wasn't even
He was
I
the
was
second
doing
choice.
the
You
yeah.
wasn't important to him that much anymore.
No, no. But again, in school, like he carried those same values and morals with him to school. And he was going to church up at school,
Thank God.
he was playing football up at school,
That's
um,
good.
mentoring kids up at school. He was um a senator, I think, at school. So he was
Okay.
doing things in school, and being active, joining talent shows and all of this,
Good,
pledge
good.
to a fraternity, everything.
Okay.
So yeah, he was doing excellent in school. It was me who was back here worrying.
Worried. Which
Yeah,
you're a mother, so all mother worry about their kids no matter what age they are. So
right.
Angie, you being a single mother, I really admire you for being a
Thank
single
you.
mother and just do your thing with your son. I know you struggle through certain times with him, but now he's a grown man. How old is he now?
He will be 25 in July.
Wow, wow, wow.
Yeah.
Look at God.
25.
Look at
Yeah,
God.
in
Look
July.
at God.
That's right. Look at God.
God is faithful. So, Angie, if you would say, see a single mother right now, if a single mother would be watching you right now, what would be an encouragement word that you would give to
Well, I think one thing is that you should always, before you make a decision about your life, first of all, no man can determine what you do with your body. Um, you have to make the decision, um, and that decision is between you and God. So you have to talk to God, ask God, what is it that you want? What is it that you want me to do? Where do you see me going? How do you want me to respond, to behave? So um, once you have that relationship, then you're able to feel confident in your decision. And for me, I think just knowing that I had that family support, knowing that no matter what, I was determined to make it work for me, for my situation. Now, everybody's situation is not the same,
them? Right.
but I think don't, don't worry.
Okay.
I would say don't worry because everything is going to be all right. Trust me, everything is going to be all right. And everything's going to work itself out. If I could go back and tell my 20 something year old self, it would be to listen to my heart, follow my heart. Um, a lot of times we get caught up in what people think about us,
Yeah.
because people used to look at me like, you look too young to have a baby, not knowing that I was 27,
Right.
um, you know, not knowing that I had already graduated and had my degree and I had a job. But people are quick to judge you. Um, so you can't let that stuff stop you. You have to do what's in your heart and what's best for you. And I have to tell you, when my son was young, I always used to play Lauryn Hill's Zion
Mm-hmm.
because I used to listen to those words in that song. And she said, but instead I chose to use my heart.
Mm-hmm.
So she had to decide. She was at a crossroads. What do I
Right.
do? Do I my career or my child?
That's
So that always kept me going. Like And I said, you know what? There are other people out here doing the same thing. I'm no different. Um, you know, I just decided to go with my heart. And I'm thankful every day for being a mother because it's the most wonderful thing in the world. My son is a blessing from God.
Amen.
So yeah, I I I have been blessed. I
Amen.
have been blessed. I might be a single mother. Um, and at the time, you know, I felt like I was alone, but you're never alone.
You're
You are,
never alone. Never alone.
yep.
God is with you. Angie, thank you so much for this encouragement word. Know that you're a woman of power and strength. And all I see in you is strength. Thank
Oh,
you so much for this interview. May God richly bless you and your son. If this series has been a blessing to you, I ask you to like, share, and subscribe. Thank you so much for tuning in to the Woman of Power. And know that we love you with the love of the Lord. Be encouraged until next time. Love you with the love of the Lord. God bless you. Thank you so much,
thank
Angie.
thank you.